where we talk everything that we in our nerdy hearts believe that's awesome. Now, to the left of me is my boy David.
Yep. How you guys doing?
Over in the screen in very warm Arizona is our boy Eddie Sanchez. Call
What
him
up,
Eddie
y'all?
Sanchez.
Yeah, right.
And you can call me Oscar. I don't really care. But yes, today's episode, we're going to be talking about Justice League, the Snyder Cut. So if anybody who has not seen it yet, and mind you, it's 4 hours long, maybe you guys should just, come back after you check it out, tell us how you thought about it in the comments, and see if we're all just like a bunch of whiners. I don't know. Anyways, first off, let me just say that I personally really enjoyed it compared to the original. But let me hear what you guys.
Redemption.
There you go. How about yourself, Eddie? What do you feel like off the top of your head you would say?
Well, I mean, definitely we have to establish that the first one was trash. It was not good. Not good at all. We get why two directors, two different visions, two different, everything. So we get it. But the first one was bad. I just want to make sure that everybody understands, everybody knows that. Whoever has seen it will understand. This one here was 5 times better. It was really long. It was extremely long, but so much better.
How long did it take you guys to watch it?
I saw it all in one sitting. Well, I paused real quick to go, pee, but other than that, like I saw it all in one sitting.
Eddie?
It took me. I had to take a break. So I did 2 hours, took a break, and then came back for the other 2 hours. It was only like an hour break. Some family stuff to do, but I had to break it up in 2.
All right, I was right there with you. It took me about 5 hours.
I mean, it makes sense. You guys got kids. My wife was sleeping in the bed, and I was just like, I got nothing better to do. And at the end, I was like, baby, wake up. You gotta watch this.
Started over another 4 hours.
I was like, baby, you either do this or no more loving. No, but honestly, like, I feel like, like the character development in this one is by far superior. Like, I actually enjoyed Cyborg. Like, before in the original, I was like, why was he even there? Man, this one, like, there was so much heart to that character.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Heck yeah. Well, because the first one was so rushed, they had to rush in to squeeze in all these characters because again, they were trying to compete with Avengers, right? Yeah. They didn't have all these solo movies to lead up to a big Justice League. They only had was it Batman vs Superman and Wonder Woman. So they have only established these 3 characters and their backstories, somewhat backstories. Yeah. And they kind of threw in, which is a cheesy scene with the emails. They established the other characters via emails. So lame,
which was
right?
Terrible.
So we got no backstory on the last one. And then you're right. They introduced all these characters here. They actually gave a backstory to all of them. And I agree with you. Cyborgs was one of the ones that I actually liked a lot.
Yeah.
They just did a good job filling in all the gaps that they missed. It's all the same movie. They just started filling in the gaps to make it all make sense and come together.
Well, not necessarily, because remember in the original, Cyborg's dad actually survives, whereas in the Snyder Cut, like he goes out like a warrior, in my opinion.
Yeah, which I was a little concerned about. I was a little worried about that.
You made a good point.
Yeah, when I saw that, like the scene and he's sacrificed himself, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that was all for nothing. I was like, damn well. Like that was going to do nothing to the box.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And then they brought it together and connected it why he did that, which I thought was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you. I thought the same thing. I was like, what? It's not going to do anything to it. I thought the exact same thing, but I liked how they kind of just they connected it to and they gave the purpose as to why he did it.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, Cyborg is your favorite like character development. I think mine was the Flash.
Oh my God.
Like I love the Flash.
Yes.
And the fact he wasn't like so timid and scared to do stuff, like still nerdy, which is fine, so goofy. But like he was like in the mix more and they displayed more of what he's capable of.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
That was his character. That's how Ezra Miller decided to play that character. So I liked that. I liked the nerdy, twitchiness that he had, and kind of just like he doesn't socialize with people. So I like that aspect of it, and I like that aspect of that character that he brought alive. But I liked his backstory a little bit more, and kind of like how they incorporated him into Justice League.
Right.
I just love that character so much. I love Cyborg's little backstory, but as far as the Flash, that was by far like the one I liked the most in this Justice League.
I don't know, like I might get some hate on this, but if you have anxiety or anyone deals with it, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to come at you, but in the original, Flash had way too much anxiety. I'm like, you're the one who's going to be saving someone's life. Get the hell out of here.
He's like, I'm just pushing people. He's like, I can't do this.
And that's what I didn't like about the first Justice League.
Right.
Maybe if they gave him a little bit more screen time and established that, then it would have made more sense. But it really didn't, and it was thrown as just a joke. It's him. He hasn't battled before. I've never battled. I just push people. That was just the joke of it. They wanted to land some laughs.
Yeah.
As opposed to here, it's completely it's different. I mean, he still gives the laughs, and but I think it's just played differently. Of course, different directors have different visions.
Yeah. I think that was like the downfall with the other one, though, because it, like I said, it just took away from the character too much. Like we know that's not who the Flash is.
Yeah.
Let me ask
just
you,
like Batman.
Yeah. Let me ask you though. This concerns Flash. The scene where like Flash walks into his like warehouse and Bruce Wayne is already sitting there. You guys notice in the Whedon cut, as soon as he turns the power on, it's like this loud music, and he's got like what looks like a Korean girl pop band dancing on the back of the screen, but in like the Snyder cut, there's like no music. I mean, there's ambiance music, but you're not supposed to hear it. But like in the background, it's like all the screens are basically like hacker stuff. There's like a floating skull. And in my opinion, it was more serious compared to like the Whedon cut.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I didn't notice that. To be honest with you, I don't know if maybe it's just like a change of direction that they were trying to do with it, or if one had more of an Easter egg purpose than the other. I honestly didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't know why. Like in my head, I'm like, that was annoying. But in this one, I was like, okay, this is more serious. I can respect this.
I think what it had to do with it was that you watched the original Justice League yesterday, and then you watched this next Zack Snyder's Justice League today. I think that's why it's so fresh. David, I don't know when was the last time you saw Justice League?
I rewatched it kind of yesterday, but before that, it's been like 2 years. I completely forgot almost the whole movie. I was like, oh man, I was like, I don't remember any of this, but I was like, okay, it's slowly coming back to where I left off.
Yeah.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I couldn't do it, man. I give you guys like kudos to be able to do that, because I watched it the first time that I watched that movie. It was so bad. I did not like it. And then a few months go by, and I was like, I think like a year went by, and I was like, okay, maybe I was being too harsh. Let me give it a chance. Let me just see if maybe I was just being really harsh on the movie, and every little thing I was just nitpicking. And I watched it again, and I was just like, Jesus, this movie's so bad. So after that, I just haven't seen it again.
Real quick. So originally, before you guys saw Justice League, were you expecting it to be really good, or were you kind of skeptical about the original one?
Honestly, I was kind of skeptical because after watching Batman versus Superman, I was like, that was kind of like a hard swallow.
So you think that kind of it adjusted like our perspective and already made us think bad about it? Because with this cut, it's all of the original filling in and kind of making it better, but you still see the original movie in it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So how much of that do you think affected our original opinion on the movie?
Not that much, because in the very first 2-3 minutes, you see Superman with that CG chin, and like, God.
Yeah.
The upper lip. Upper lip CGI.
You're like, ooh.
Fun fact: you guys know that the director of Mission Impossible gave them permission as long as they paid $3 million to hold the production of Mission Impossible in order for him to shave.
to do those reshoots. Yeah. They were like, nope, we're not paying that. We'll just
$3 million for a mustache.
And then they ended up paying more money to actually just CGI it, which came out to be terrible.
Terrible.
I don't know, David, to answer your question in regards to it, I think it was kind of a little bit of, Batman versus Superman already put a sour taste in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I was already going into the original Justice League with like, man, like if they do it like that, it's going to be shitty. I don't know how they're going to be able to do it. Like, and then I think Wonder Woman came out that same year, just a few months prior of Justice League. And it gave me hope because I was like, well, DC can make good movies.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman was just kind of a one-off. Like that was just a one-off good movie.
Right.
And then Justice League came out and I was just like, it's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was all right. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I do like because I think you said that it was how many minutes of original or new footage?
Oh, so when I was looking it up, Snyder said it was 5 minutes of new content.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything else is basically like the original footage they shot.
Yeah, so we had 5 minutes, and then the rest was stuff that was already filmed before that they just didn't want to put in because of, I guess, time restrictions or whatever.
I didn't know that. Damn.
I did a lot of research.
Yeah. But some of the things I did like is when they changed some of the dialogue for certain scenes.
Yes.
And then that was also a thing I didn't like because I felt like it took away a little bit. Like one I was thinking about off the top of my head was when Wonder Woman's fighting Steppenwolf. When they're the first time when they're saving Cyborg's dad.
Yeah.
And so he stops, he's like, I got this one. And so in the original one, she's like, oh, you're overestimating yourself. And so for this cut, she goes and she's like, oh, I don't belong to anybody. Which to me, I felt it was unnecessary. I thought before when she's saying how he's overestimating himself, it flowed better. It sounded better. Like,
okay. I mean, I kind of agree with you. It did seem kind of like off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was her accent or what, but her fighting made up for that line.
True.
She kicked so much ass.
Oh. Yeah,
like it was much better. Also, when Cyborg comes in, and I don't know if you saw I think in the original cut, he does a sneak shot and shoots Steppenwolf, right?
Yeah.
And then in this one, you hear him yell and like run down to his dad and creates this whole scene where everyone's like watching.
Yeah,
I thought that was better. I enjoyed that a bit more.
Way better. Like,
everybody
actually knew how to fight in this movie.
Yeah. Which Wonder Woman seemed a little OP in the beginning, but
how old is she? Like 3,000 years old or something?
I thought it was like 5,000 or something like that.
5,000. She's got all that time. I mean,
staying together, not bad, right?
No, the most improvement was Batman fighting wise. Like in the original Whedon cut, that man was getting his shit taxed left and right. Man, this one he put in work.
That's one. I feel like in this one they made them more of the superheroes that we grew up watching them.
Right. Like
not so timid. Like it was good to have the comedy, but like there was in the original cut, you see like Batman a little more timid. Like I think we were saying before, like hanging off to the side, like I can't do anything. You know, I just got money. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like in this one, he has gauntlets that are absorbing energy. Gets 2 hits from Superman.
Which Wonder Woman makes a joke about. It's like you might as well make him a lasso.
Yeah.
I like how they added that explanation as well, that it can take a lot of energy and a lot of shots from like these alien guns, which then it shows later on when he's taking shots and he's actually blocking and it's absorbing them. So the last one, the first one that they made, didn't explain that. So you're just in my head, I was just like, damn, these are some weak ass alien guns. They can't even penetrate Batman. Like what he doesn't have superpowers. Like what? This one they gave a little explanation as to why can't they, why the guns are ineffective against them. And I think the 5 minutes that you were referring to, they were added in, I think was Jared Leto. Correct me if I'm wrong. The inclusion of Joker in that scene, right? Did you find actually any good reason to have that scene in there, which is towards the end to have Jared Leto?
I think they wanted to redeem Jared Leto's Joker, and there's word going around that if Warner Brother and HBO see that this version of it does better, that they would actually think about greenlighting like more like of the Snyder universe, I guess they're calling it now.
Hmm.
So who knows? Maybe he like left it there like, yo, you want more? You're gonna have to bring me in.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how that's gonna work. It's messing up so much. I mean, DC is just all over the place, right? Like their timelines are just out of sync now, because now they're doing a reboot with a brand new, Batman. And so, I mean, I don't see why. I honestly don't see the purpose of having Jared Leto come back in, besides only just redeeming himself from Suicide Squad, unless they're gonna get this Joker and this version of this Joker and apply it to the new, the Batman with what's his face,
Twilight guy, yeah.
Robert Pattinson.
There we go.
Yeah,
like,
unless they did that, because Joaquin Phoenix, his Joker, although was phenomenal and great, the timelines again, because that was a standalone movie there, and he's already said he's not making another one. I don't think they're going to include him on that version of the Batman with Robert Pattinson. So maybe they're trying to get Jared Leto and trying to, in other words, audition him to see if he's good for that new universe.
Probably just waiting on feedback, see how well people liked that version of his version of Joker this time.
I mean, just looks wise, way better.
Yeah, I thought it was way better. I enjoyed like the dialogue between them. I thought that was like, it still made the scene. It didn't take away from the movie. It kind of added like there's something more, but
yeah,
it was just a good dialogue between the two, recognizing like their relationship, which I'm wondering how far in the future that's supposed to be.
I mean, it can't be that far, right? Because I mean, none of them really aged.
True. Yeah. Well, except the Flash, but yeah. That last 5 minutes, I don't think it added too much to the movie. It was just, I guess, a nice little extra. Instead of adding it at the end of the credits, they wanted to put it at the very end in the dream.
Yeah. So you don't think it really necessarily hurt it, but you also don't think it like really benefited it too much?
Not too much. I mean, it still went with the movie. It still went with the movie.
Yeah.
Because they're still fighting the same bad guys per se.
I think they really did it just to explain how the vision he had in Batman vs Superman. Because they did kind of leave that, like, what's the word? It's almost like they erased it from the original Justice League movie. Like it never even happened. Like
it was like a premonition, and then there's nothing. Yeah. But I mean, I guess
I see that.
Yeah, just left it open for something more. I did enjoy how they introduced two more characters, like more like fluid. Like you got Ryan Choi becomes Adam, and then Martian Manhunter.
Manhunter.
I wanted him to have a bigger role though, like or at least talk more.
I don't know. I thought it was fine because they more than not rush into movies or rush their characters. So I feel like actually just dropping it a little bit here and there made it that much better.
They just sprinkled them in.
Yeah, the sprinkle, because then like he appears and he's like, all right, now he's fighting with them, and you're like, oh, now you guys are cool. Like you guys
that would have been that if they did that, it would have been kind of the same issue that they had with the first one, right? Which is they have all these little heroes that they somewhat just briefly introduce, and then boom, you're now part of the team. You're part of the big fight. So I agree with you, I think, on that one.
Yeah. There's little things that I liked about the movie, like that explain things. Like I was telling you earlier, like in Themyscira, the little temple they had holding the mother box. You know, in the original, like they just closed the doors and like he's supposed to be locked in there. But if you looked, you know, the ceiling of the dome, there's basically like a hole that he could just fly through, even though he just cut a wall open. But in the Snyder cut, the whole thing goes into the water, and I'm like, that explains why everyone was acting like they're all gonna die.
Yeah. Well, either that or they just knew they were about to get taxed by Steppenwolf. Like, he just flew out of here out of nowhere.
I don't know. I feel like Steppenwolf was very weak in the Whedon cut compared to the Snyder cut, because did you see all those Amazons just piling on that fool? And he was just taking them all.
Yeah,
dude, I was gonna say about Steppenwolf. I loved him in this movie. I loved him way more than the last one, just because this is what I was telling you guys. Like the last one didn't give him no backstory. He was just a generic villain. Like, why are you bad? Because I'm bad. That's it. Like, what's your purpose? Like, why are you doing what you're doing? And why do you want to destroy the planet or destroy the Earth? Like there was nothing. He's just bad. He's just a villain. That's it. And this one here, he has his own redemption that he's trying to get on the good side of dark side because he's on the bad side. He's trying to redeem himself. This is why he's doing what he's doing. And so it gives him more character development. I like that. I like that a lot. Plus, the last one, he wasn't as OP as he is on this one. This one, he took some damage. And, one thing that I liked about his armor is like when the Amazonians shot him up with a bunch of arrows and they just like flexed and then the armor just like snapped them all off. I was like, damn, okay. So he took some punishment until Superman rocked his ass, but he was a lot more aggressive, a lot more powerful in this one, and was able to fight off all these superheroes until Superman came out, and really like kicked his ass. So I like Steppenwolf a lot more in this one.
Agreed.
He's 100 times better. He made me think of Ronan from Marvel.
Marvel?
Ronan. And then his outfit was from Thor.
Yeah.
I told you guys that robot from Thor. But
the big robot,
the backstory on him, again, like I said, it was filling in all the gaps in the original.
Yeah.
Like it just made it that much better to really see the characters. Because I think, like I said, from the get-go, just when you throw them in there, it's not as enjoyable. You're like, all right, cool. I got, Joe Smo or whoever doing this, and there's really no reason for them to do it.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get to this point? Like they're just hanging out waiting for something to happen, or, they just weren't established well enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, with the cut or with the Snyder cut, they filled all that in, which it's good, kudos, but really, are we giving Snyder all the credit if he only did 5 minutes of footage
of
and just added in the?
Well, he had the vision to like edit it all in a way that like it worked out. So I'm gonna give him all the kudos.
You're gonna give him all the kudos? I don't know.
I totally am.
He
deserves it.
Don't get me wrong. I was a fan of Joss Whedon's work, like because I don't know if you guys know he did like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel and like those shows.
You watch those shows?
Oh yeah, like Firefly. I was a big fan of those shows. And then when I saw his version of Justice League, I was like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm good. I'll go back to watching Angel.
Like, you had your time in the sun. It's time to step down.
No, Mac, like, kudos to him. Like, it was awesome, like I said. It was...
The original?
No, the Snyder.
Oh,
like, it was awesome.
Okay.
But again,
you can't, Oscar, you can't say that about Josh Whedon, though, in regards to the first one. It's not fair because Zack Snyder filmed a majority of it. And then I would say about halfway or whatever, 3/4 of the way, they brought in Josh Whedon because of what happened with Zack Snyder and his daughter.
Right.
So you have, as a director, and I get it, like for somebody starting a brand new film from the beginning all the way to the very end, you have already your own envision of how you want to do it. You create your own storyboards. You're working with the script itself, and you're kind of reworking the script, and you're going to make it and add your style to it. So when you're talking to your videographer, you're like, hey, I want to shoot this particular scene like this, shoot this way, Dutch angles, whatever. And that's how they're able to get all these, these scenes how he wants it. And then now he's talking to the person who's editing everything and putting it together according to their storyboard. So coming as a director, you're coming in with all this footage already filmed,
right?
This story, and you're kind of just like, this is not my style. I don't feel it. Like, how do I finish somebody else's work? Like, I don't know what he's really aiming for, Did he want these two scenes like next to each other? Like, I don't know. So he had to completely scrap everything and kind of adjust the scenes how he felt would be good, So you can't really give him and bash him too bad because he didn't have everything to start off.
He was a substitute.
I get where you're coming from, but there's things he drastically changed that I just didn't like for instance, the Flash. Like again, I didn't like how spazzy and anxiety ridden he was, and I was like, you're not heroic to be like like Batman right now standing in the corner is actually doing more than you are, man.
Batman's legit hiding in the shadows away from everybody.
Yeah. He's in his head calculating a plan. He's over there like thinking, Flash is over there thinking like, if I run this way, maybe I can trip him.
Maybe I can trip him. So I didn't know that Snyder did half the filming in the original one. So I'll give him full kudos for that.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Whedon because he was the substitute, so that does suck. But
yeah,
I mean, I get he was put in a situation that like was pretty against his odds, but come on, like there was stuff that he did to that movie that was like for instance, the Russian family in the original. I didn't give a you know what I'm
why were
talking
they
about.
even that close?
Yeah,
thank you.
Like it was radiated. Why were they even in the area?
like,
I was totally gonna bring that up, and then you brought it up. Oh my god! I thought I was the only one in that movie. I was like, why are we going back and cutting to this family? Like, what do they have some sort of tie-in to the actual storyline? Nope.
No.
And then you go back to them and you see them and they're scared, blah blah blah, and you're just like, okay, like is it somehow gonna tie into? Nope, doesn't really tie in at all. They serve no purpose to the actual function of the movie, to the whole purpose of the movie. And I was like, why is this even in here?
He threw in filler after cutting out a whole bunch of good stuff.
Yeah. What I think is he made Flash so unsure of himself that they're going to give him a light task at the end to like prove that like, hey, you're heroic too. And then he saves the family in the truck where Superman flies with that building.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, I really feel that was just thrown on there.
Mm.
Whereas Snyder's cut, they were all heroic from beginning to end. They had a grasp on their powers,
Mm-hmm.
and they understood, like, yo, like it's put up or shut up. Especially Flash. If it wasn't for Flash, they'd all be dead.
Yep, Flash. That was hands down one of my favorite scenes. Hands down at the end
when he actually went back in time, went so fast that he brought back time. I thought that was so sick.
And I thought
such a good scene.
Like when you see him running and the floor just forming underneath him,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then when you see Superman being like reanimated, that was
so awesome.
That was good right there. That was awesome.
Yeah,
like,
I loved the pace of the movie, to be honest with you guys. Like I was telling you guys, like it's 4 hours long, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that 4 hours could be a drag. Those 4 hours can be a mission to finish. There's been a lot of movies where you're just like damn it, it's going to end soon. Like, is it going to end soon? And it could be just a big drag. This one here kept you like watching the entire time. And then when it started to get a little bit too much talking, they threw in and sprinkled in some action. They threw in some cool scenes where they're gearing up or just, stuff like that. And it just kept you watching the entire time. So even though it was 4 hours, and for me, I had to break it up in two. I could have honestly, if it wasn't bathroom breaks, I could have just watched the whole thing.
I think I could have for the most part. I still might have taken a break, but it was good. Like, I was worried that it'll be some points where I was like, all right, I need to just take a break just because I'm tired of watching it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it kept you entertained. Like, it kept you engaged and wanting to try and pick out and see the differences and everything. And like, I was surprised that I would notice the dialogue. Like, I was going like, oh, no, he didn't say that. Like, but this one's better, or it's not better, or whatever. So, I mean, I would watch it again with breaks.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll watch it again with breaks.
I personally, like, I don't know. I don't have a problem with like sitting down and watching or playing something for a long time. So that didn't bother me, but it was actually the opposite with me compared to like what other people are saying. Like, there was like 30 minutes left in the movie, and I checked. I'm like, damn, I want more.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted more of the dream that he had at the end. I was like, oh, let's see more. Or the cutscene where they had Lex Luthor. I would like to see more of that. That was good.
Yeah.
Again, building up to something else, but they changed the dialogue in that also, which to me made it like 50 times better.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't too fond of Lex Luthor to begin with.
Not Lex Luthor. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not too fond of him either. They could have got the better one to play it.
Yeah.
But the dialogue, like in the original one, they're kind of setting up for like the League of Villains. and it just seemed cheesy. It seemed like really cheesy. But in this one, like he's talking to Deathstroke, like, hey, here's some information. Bruce Wayne is who you're looking for. Like that was way better. That seems more intimidating to me. Like passing around identities of superheroes as opposed to let's create a boy band of villains. You know what I mean?
And then it goes and cuts off to something else. Yeah. I get that.
So like the fact that they changed over, like they recognized that it was kind of lacking. It was kind of cheesy and lame.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about the rating? You think it matched up?
No.
Like I didn't think it was rated R.
No, you didn't think it was rated R?
It didn't seem. It's rated R. Yeah, it didn't seem rated R to me.
No.
Well, they dropped. Did they drop a? They dropped the son of a bitch in there. I think. Did they
they dropped
it.
Yeah, they do. Cyborg, right?
Cyborg, Batman when he's threatening to kill Joker.
Oh, that's
yeah. I mean, you can't also forget like Steppenwolf got his head cut off. So
yeah. But I mean, is that rated R?
They included a bunch of more blood.
There's a lot more blood,
more gore in there. So I thought that was really good.
I mean, I was glad
when Steppenwolf was like wrecking some of the Amazonians, like you could see the blood splattering from them. So it wasn't too much. It wasn't the original, like it wasn't what you would expect from Zack Snyder. Because Zack Snyder 300, for example, that movie is just blood galore, right? One cut and it's like just splatters everywhere.
Well,
this wasn't that.
There's nudity too, right?
There was touches of blood where it needed.
Yeah, there was. Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I guess it was good. I don't know. It just didn't seem like that bad. I guess with blood and someone getting their head cut off is rated R.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I agree. Like, I didn't see anything wrong with what any of them did. They kept the profanity to a minimum. The violence wasn't over the top. Like we've seen worse in Watchmen.
Right. Oh, I mean, was that rated?
Yeah.
So it was good. I thought the rating was a little much. I think that was more to, to seem more dark. Like, oh man, like it's rated R. It's going to be. I mean, it's nothing like Deadpool or something. You know what I mean? Watching a little naked guy run around.
Yeah. That's owned by Disney now, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, hopefully it doesn't turn out bad.
Nah.
But I enjoyed the movie. Eddie, would you watch it again?
I would. Absolutely.
You would recommend it?
This is my rewatchable factor that my little meter that I have. Like, would you rewatch this? I totally would. Heck yeah. I recommend to people to watch it because I have, this not necessarily an argument, but I have this conversation with people where they're just like, oh man, the first one was so bad. I'm not going to watch the Zack Snyder cut because it's just going to be equally bad. And I have that conversation all the time. I wanted to watch this to see with his original idea and how this movie was going to be, was it going to be any good?
Right.
And I watched it and I enjoyed it very much. I would totally rewatch this again.
I agree. How about yourself?
I'll watch it again. I think for me though, like I love superheroes growing up. So even if I thought it was going to be bad, I'll still watch it. But it wasn't. It was pleasantly really, really good. So I'm glad I watched it. Hung in for 4 hours. Well, 4 hours with the break. But I'll definitely watch it again. I would recommend it for whoever to watch it again. Like it was totally worth it.
You know what was a really nice touch for me is one, how the entire movie wasn't based on resurrecting Superman. Like it came like halfway in.
Yeah.
And then when they were resurrecting him, they like put importance on like the sanctity of his grave. Like, like in the original one, they're just digging up the grave and you're wondering why the hell doesn't like Flash just dig that thing super fast? And then like he actually has a line in the Snyder cut where he's like, we can do this in like seconds. And then they just look at each other and they look down and like, yeah. And then they start digging with like admiration, I guess.
I think they did that in the original one too.
No,
they didn't have that line.
Something.
No,
that one.
They were digging them up, but like they barely said anything and they didn't really acknowledge why they were taking their time with it.
Which when they pulled him up, he looked exactly the same. He didn't look that bad.
He's only been dead for like what? Like
it was a year.
No, it wasn't a year. Like I want to say like Oh, maybe you're right.
It was a
I
year.
think it was a year.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a year.
Well, he's Kryptonian, so like he doesn't
Yeah,
decay like regular humans do.
I suppose. You know what I thought was messed up though in both cuts? Batman's been feeling bad and following, information on Superman, right?
Mhm.
And he let Superman's mom go bankrupt and lose her farm.
Well, he was busy like searching for.
And then at the end, he's like, I got it. I'll take care of you now that you're back.
Yeah. Did you guys notice that Lois was pregnant?
Well, I saw that she had
She took the pregnancy test.
But again, with it being a year, she couldn't have been pregnant.
No. She was pregnant because at the end, when after that scene where he's like, "I bought the bank."
Bruce, congratulations.
Yeah, I said congratulations.
And she's holding a little cradle.
Oh shoot! I didn't catch that.
Mhm.
I'll have to rewatch that.
So it may have been almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but still like, unless Kryptonians take longer to.
Superman better get a blood test. He's like, I've been gone a year.
There's a problem.
I've been gone a year, and you got a pregnancy test in here. Like I know, asked you to marry me.
If it's a year, there's a problem there. Of course, Zack Snyder had to throw in all the slow mo.
Yes.
Oh, slow mo here, slow mo there. It throws in a bunch. That's his touch, man. He throws in the slow mo. There was one scene where I was just like, the slow mo didn't help that scene. I was like, when Cyborg's they're doing his backstory, they're doing the football, and like one thing is like when you hop over somebody who's about to tackle you, but you could tell like when somebody's filming, like the guys are like right in front of each other. But a little test or a little trick that they do when they're filming is they put one person in front, slightly behind, and then so I noticed that and I was like, damn, he's jumping over the dude. But then like his feet just like kind of cut into where he was, and I was like, oh, they totally did that. Like I totally caught that because of some slow mo. You catch these mistakes that when they were fighting Steppenwolf, the Amazonians, you see a girl like about to swing and then she just falls back, like she just like nothing touches her at all, and she was just like and just fell back because it's in slow mo, so you see it, and I was just like, what, you gotta touch these things up, man.
I mean, she was the smart one. She's like, nope.
Yeah. She's like, ooh, what did he just do? Never mind, I'm sorry.
Nope.
Like, I'm gonna lay down real quick.
Yo, let me ask you. All right, that scene where like Bruce is first talking with Aquaman before he like swims off, and then those girls start singing. Was that like super long to you guys?
It was really long, a little creepy, but it was long.
Yeah, I don't know what the purpose of that particular scene was. It could have definitely been shortened up, and I agree with you 100% because I was just like, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was just like, okay, for one, why are they singing, and then why are they still singing? And then like she picks up a sweater, and then like they continue to sing, and then they go to like the behind her, looking out to the water, and I was just like, how much longer? And then it finally switched, and I was like, that was unnecessary.
Let's not forget, at one point she brings the sweater to her nose,
and sniffs it.
Moist.
I thought that's moist. Smells like fish. All I could think when they were going about doing that scene is Bruce Wayne, and I know in his head he's like, damn, I have to ride that damn fucking horse all the way back.
Right?
There ain't no plane out here, and he just told me no. He's like, oh, I hate him so much.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, right? Like, But I get what you're saying. Like some of the slow-mo scenes, I think, again, with the Flash, the scene where he pushes Wonder Woman's sword to her, they cut that down before, like when he goes to push it, it like goes slow and takes its time, and then he's like happy with himself. And this one, he goes, taps it, and runs past, so it's like a lot faster, which I think is way better because there's no reason for him to stare and gawk at her. Yeah, I was like, that's just unnecessary action. Like it was just weird.
Yeah, I feel like that was probably added footage to like make him look even more nerdy, geeky, a klutz.
So you think when he saves Iris, it was just added?
No. I think that was in the original, and then they probably just like cut it out because like, it doesn't really do anything for the story. But
I mean, it doesn't.
Part of the original story, like how they
No,
Yeah,
you know,
well, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of that scene anyway. It's just the editing and how it was. You know, it's just like she hits the truck and it completely destroys the vehicle as it shouldn't in real life to be able to flip it that way. But she's like 1 second in the car, and then on the other second, she's like ahead of the car. I was just like, what is like the editing is just
not
off.
wearing her seatbelt.
He was staring at her so hard.
Yeah. He's like, dang.
Ezra Miller's breaking necks over here. She was like, who is that? Who's that cutie?
He's like, I got you. He's like, I mean, I'm less than a minute, but I got you.
Yeah.
No, but well, you know, it's supposed to be like Iris West.
Yeah.
Is that his love interest?
That's his love interest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's who I took it to be.
No, it is.
Like,
I looked up the.
Okay, I was like, so I took it to be as Iris West.
Yeah.
I
thought she was gonna have a bigger role, but then when that was it, I was like, that could have been like any random chick. Honestly,
See, I feel like it would have been too much. Even that scene, it was just like, okay, like they're supposed to have more history than just catching each other's eye, but it was.
But I did love.
Cool.
I did love that they kept the scene where they're fighting Superman, and Flash like speeds up to try to get around him, and then you see Superman's eyes just like follow him, and then Ezra Miller's like face is like, oh shit, like he can see me. Like I love that in the first Justice League, so I like that they still kept that part of it because you still got every once in a while throwing a little like humor in there.
Right.
So I thought that was really cool.
His running still frustrates me, but
it's awkward, right?
I get what we're talking about.
How his motion of how he runs. Yeah.
Like I get what he's trying to do and be like professional track star, somewhat like relaxed, but it's still annoying.
You were in track in high school. I don't think you ran so like wide and open, did you? Like everything's more kind of like compact in how you run.
I mean, that's true. Boston didn't run as fast as him, so. But no, I mean, you're supposed to be relaxed, and so you are kind of flowing your arms back and forth, but not in that way. Like it was just kind of, his is kind of awkward.
Yeah. Well, it looks like those the ice skaters that race. It looks more of a motion of that way, right? Like with their arms are kind of like more outward, as opposed to just a track runner. I think personally,
and maybe that's what he was going for.
That makes sense. I mean, he did make a joke about that, right? Like the ice skating.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he did say he was a competitive ice skater. Yeah,
he's like real competitive ice skating.
And I'm not a big fan of his costume, but
really, I'm not like it.
It looks like, I think it would have made sense if like he wore that at the end, like we're going to war. But if he wore more something to like what he does, like the skin tight, like anti-friction suit that he wears, I would have dug that more.
It would have been better, but it was all right. Aside from that, the cut was awesome.
Yeah,
I would watch it all again, all 4 hours.
Yes, I would as well. And I have to at least say that this Joker was definitely better than Suicide Squad Joker.
Absolutely.
But still not nowhere near competing to Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. There's those two Jokers are still above Jared Leto's, I think, even with this performance.
I try not to compare them, but yeah, I agree. I do agree with you this one time. This one time.
If you guys had to say like something you didn't like about it, what would it be?
Didn't like?
Yeah.
Again, like his outfit.
Okay.
The running. Like this certain dialogue that they changed, I said before. Like with Wonder Woman, she changed her dialogue. There's another one I cannot think of off the top of my head, but I mean, other than that, that was really good. Not that I didn't necessarily like it, but the added scene where Iris, it really didn't do anything. Like if they didn't have that, everything else would have been fine.
Okay. Yeah, it would. If they didn't have that scene, it would have continued. The story would have just continued on just like normal. I think they could have easily knocked off maybe about 30 minutes off of everything, like the entirety. Maybe not as much slow-mo. Maybe take out that scene in particular. And there's a few in there that they could have taken out that could have maybe written it down maybe to about 3 hours and 30 minutes. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but I mean, when you're talking about 4 hours, 30 minutes can't help.
Right.
Well, I feel like they needed
it not affecting the story.
Yeah, I feel like they needed it still. Like
Yeah.
This was like redemption. You have to go all in. Like,
Yeah, true.
it's all or nothing. So I can see why you throw all in. Just have that full 4 hours.
I wish the Green Lantern Corps was actually in it, other than the quick 3-second, 5-second clip.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you didn't see any Kryptonians, but
We talk about Superman.
Superman, but in the original fight.
Well, that's because they weren't on Earth yet.
Yeah, but yeah, it would have been cool to see more Green Lantern, but Ryan Reynolds turned him down. So
I would even if it was because they show Kilowog at one point, after they destroy all of Earth, you see him for a quick second. So I'm like, so there is a Green Lantern Corps still. Where the hell are you guys?
Yeah, he's just not there yet. They have to reestablish him. They didn't want to throw him in. They picked up on their failures and they wanted to throw their characters in. So
yeah,
I'm not mad.
No, not at all. So overall, I was pleased, man. I was pleased. I totally watch it again. Absolutely.
I'll watch it. It was enjoyable. Everyone watching, go check it out.
Yes, please.
Don't spend your money at the theaters.
No, yeah,
it's too long to sit at the theater.
Watch it in two to 3 sittings because it is long, but it's definitely give it the chance. Don't let the first one, really taint it that bad. And I know it puts a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Just don't go based off of that one. Just know that this is something completely different as opposed to that one. And it's definitely worth giving it a chance just to watch it it in 3 parts, whatever,
or get a diaper like Oscar, have some gamer grub, and just enjoy the 4 hours.
Remember, the more you watch it too, the rumors going around that they might make a sequel, so you want to put that bitch on repeat.
Then you have another 4 hours to watch.
Right.
When you gotta go and your dogs are sitting by themselves and you want a little background noise, just click play and walk away.
Play, walk away. All right. Thank you everybody for watching.
Yep.
You guys good? You want to share anything else?
Put it in the comments. Tell us how we did, what you like, what you didn't like. Subscribe and share, guys, because we're doing this for fun. But if they want to pay us, I could get more of these bad boys.
More of those shirts or those sweaters. Yeah, donate, guys, so we can get more sweaters for Oscar.
All right. Have a good one.
Later.
Bye, guys. Bye.